Now Irving sees a seam, drops it off, Simmons dishes.
We are currently witnessing one of the strangest fall-offs in NBA history, and no one really knows what's happening.
The guy's lost. He's scared. He's allergic to the basket.
Skip, 7 points a game, 6 rebounds. Tell me the one thing that Ben Simmons has gotten better at since he's come into the NBA.
Ben Simmons got ejected last night on purpose. He didn't want to play.
He's gone. He just tossed it. He got his 5th foul, and Simmons is gone. Just ejected. 2nd technical.
It's just sad to watch because we all know what this guy was as recently as 2 years ago. I just now have reached the point where, I hope we see the old Ben Simmons or 75% of it again, because the guy that's playing now is a broken player.
The Ben Simmons situation is getting sadder by the day. I want us to take things back in time for a second. March 2021. Only just 2 years ago, Ben Simmons was having maybe the best season of his career prior to the All-Star break, averaging 16, 8 and 8, along with elite defense. Simmons was not only considered one of the best 20 players in the league, yes, but he was named an All-Star for the 3rd consecutive year before he had even turned 25. Just to put into perspective how rare this was, over the course of NBA history, there have been 450 different All-Stars. Only 35 have made 3 All-Star games before turning 25, of which these are the other current active players that have done that. Not bad company to be in. Now, of those 35 players, only 3 guys never made multiple All-Star games following the first 3. Maurice Stokes, who had to retire from the league for health concerns, Terry Dischinger, who joined the Army during his prime, and Derrick Rose, who famously tore his ACL at 24. Ben Simmons would be the 4th player to join that group, and he would be the only one that went from a starting All-Star point guard to fighting for backup center minutes with Day'Ron Sharpe. So this begs the question, where did it all go wrong? Most people would have you believe we have seen the ghost of Ben Simmons ever since the series against Atlanta and the subsequent mental and physical toll that he had to endure. But what if I were to tell you it was only a few months ago that Simmons looked like an All-Star level player? Yes, the Ben Simmons, this guy, was looking like a near All-Star in early November. 3 months later, and
35%. And look right there, the backdoor. Simmons missed the easy one previously.
Over a 5-game stretch in November, Ben put up 16, 7 and 6 on 84% from the field, and maybe most importantly, he shot 62% from the line on over 3 attempts a game, which we'll talk about a little bit later. Now I know, any player can get hot over a 5-game period of time, but we all know Simmons isn't any player. He can't just shoot 60% from 3 over a 5-game period to get hot. When I show you the aggression, confidence, and force he was playing with, you'll be in disbelief at the regression since then. I mean, how many players in the NBA can do this?
Simmons, Euros, and lays it in. Ben Simmons, that was dazzling.
Running at full speed up the court, Simmons puts his head down and hits a filthy Euro before finishing a really tough lay. But that's really only a glimpse into what Ben did throughout this 5-game stretch. Just watch some of these clips and the aggressiveness at which he's playing with. Look at this play off an offensive rebound, and just watch Simmons' eyes. He's not got anything on his mind but getting to the basket. He was even aggressive when rolling to the rim. Like here, he wants the ball, and that opens up a lane for KD with Nurkic worried about the lob. You could literally only watch the highlights of his 22-point performance against Memphis and see more aggressiveness and confidence in that game alone than the last 2 months combined. Take this play for example. He's bringing the ball up in transition. He calls for Irving as if he's about to run a handoff, but he then fakes it, puts his head down, and bullies through one of the strongest players in the league for an and one. Not to be hyperbolic, but there's just not many players in the league, let alone 7-footers that can change speed like that and finish around the rim in stride like that whilst absorbing contact. This also translated to his defense. During the same stretch of games, he had multiple good defensive performances, including holding Damian Lillard to 8 of 24 shooting. Just watch this absolutely suffocating play from Ben, in which he has Dame in a straitjacket for 15 seconds straight before it ends up in a contested Nurkic 3. This 6-game streak of double-digit performances culminated in a 20-point 8 of 8 game against the Indiana Pacers, where he shot 4 of 4 from the line and was doing things like this.
4 assists, Simmons, and he'll count it.
So my question is, what happened to that Ben Simmons? Everyone talks about the Ben Simmons from 2 years ago. How about the Ben Simmons from 3 months ago that was bodying 7-footers, attacking the rim in transition, and looking fantastic on defense? Where did he go? Well, Ben followed a streak of 6 double-digit games, up with a combined 2 points over a 2-game stretch before, well... And unfortunately, this has been all too familiar, because not only has Ben missed multiple games with various injuries, but do you guys want to hear something crazy? Ben Simmons has had 3 performances with 0 points this year. That's not the crazy part of what I'm about to say. After each of those 0-point performances, he's missed the following game or games with injury. Now, I'm not going to accuse him of faking injuries, but I will say in his latest 0-point game that ended with an injury, this was KD's reaction, and this is what Jark Vaughn said following the game.
And Ben was knee soreness.
I don't think it's a matter of saying Simmons isn't injured, because I'm sure he experiences some soreness, but so do most athletes. I think there's an inability for him to overcome that soreness when he's not performing well, and that's the source of him missing games. But there is one thing that remains at the root of all of these problems. Now, some people have you believe it's because he hasn't improved.
This is Ben Simmons' refusal to work on his game coming back to haunt him. Period.
This is absolutely false. Him not improving is why he's not a superstar, but he was still putting up 15, 7, and 7 whilst being an elite defender in Philadelphia just a couple of seasons ago. The issue is the strengths he has in his game, he doesn't want to take advantage of. In 2020, Ben averaged 12 drives per game. That was by far the most on the 76ers and top 20 in the NBA. This season, he's 9th on the Nets in drives per game. Edmund Sumner, Royce O'Neal, and Seth Curry average more drives per game than Ben at just 3.5. The crazy part is, he's shooting a higher percentage on drives than ever, but his refusal to be aggressive, tied in with being petrified of going to the free throw line, leads to a non-shooting, screen-setting playmaker that hasn't been at his best defensively, aka a player that has to fight for minutes with Day'Ron Sharpe and Yuta Watanabe. There are 2 things Ben needs to improve to be a good player, maybe even an all-star again: his free throw shooting and his confidence. He still has a skill set superior to 95% of the league, and we've seen that this season, but he's taking his own strengths away, and until he stops doing that, he's going to slip further and further down the Nets bench. Anyways, if you made it all the way to the end of the video, a like would be greatly appreciated. Subscribe to the channel for more. Have a great day.